Hello dear friends, welcome back. Now we are in the ninth part of academic typesetting using LaTeX. This is a direct continuation of the previous session. Before going into the details of today's topic, let me remind you one thing. All are requested to develop LaTeX source documents based on the commands that we learn in each class. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you to create a final document or to prepare a project report, thesis, or article. In the last class, we learned how to create references. We used the bibliography environment and bib item entry for creating references and different forms of cite command /cite command. By considering different bib items in the bibliography environment, we can see that it is up to the developer or the manuscript writer to create the entire bibliography. So we are building the entire bibliography by hand, we can say like that. It is up to you to provide the information that is needed by the natlibs /cite t and /cite p commands to generate author year style publications. Sometimes it seems difficult and non-standard, it may create non-standard formats. In today's lessons, we will learn some other techniques. By that, you can manage your references and bibliography in LaTeX using BibTeX systems. Now let us see how these entries can be kept in a separate database and you can keep it as a repository of references. So, bibliographic database is a database in which all the useful bibliographic entries can be stored. The information about the various publication is stored in one or more files with the extension .bib. For each publication, there is a key that identifies it and which may be used in the text document to refer to it. This key mapping we have already seen in the previous session. This database is useful for the authors or researchers who are constantly referring to the same publication in most of their works. So if you have a list of papers, say if you are doing research, you might have core papers and all. And those papers you usually refer in almost all your articles. In LaTeX, if you are creating a separate database, you need not create bib item or bib item entry every time that you create a paper, that you prepare a paper. Coming to BibTeX. BibTeX is an auxiliary program to LaTeX that automatically constructs a bibliography for LaTeX document from one or more databases. In order to use BibTeX, one must include in your LaTeX input file a bibliography command whose argument specifies one or more files that contains the database. So this is the command. Into this command, we will specify the databases. You can add more than one files in comma separated format. Here, this command specifies that the bibliographic entries are obtained from database 1.bib and database 2.bib. In order to use BibTeX, your LaTeX input file must contain a /bibliography style command. This command specifies the bibliography style, which determines the format of source list. We can put /bibliography style command anywhere in the document after the begin document command. So this is the list of bibliography style files. If you are specifying the style as plain, which means standard, it is a standard BibTeX style. Entries sorted alphabetically with numeric labels. Like that, you have different options. See this ACM. This is alternative BibTeX style used for the journals of the ACM journals. It has the format author name, surname and first name in small caps. Likewise, there are number of other formats also there. You can support all these using different BST files, which means you just have to include appropriate .bst files and then specify those style in the slash bibliography style command. Examples, some other examples of style files are like abbr.bst, abstract.bst, acm.bst, then nature.bst, harvard.bst, etc. All these are there. Which means various organizations or individuals have developed styles files that corresponding to the house style of particular journal or editing houses. We can also customize the bibliography style by making small changes to any BST file or else generate our own using make BST program. We are not going into the details of BST and all. Basically, BST is the file which specifies the standard template or standard format for a particular style of citation. Basically, if you are using bibliographic database in LaTeX system, basically you should have at least two files. One is your source document, which means the tex file, .tex file, where you create all your data contents, and a bib file. In that, the information about various publications are stored in one or more files. Now let us see how these things are managed. Now we will look at different entries in the bibliographic database. Before moving into that, let me make one more clarification. It is clear that the creation of bibliographic database takes a little bit additional work, but the basic advantage is that once the entries are made in the database, these are available for future publication, even if a different bibliography style is demanded in later works. All the information is already on hand in the database for BibTeX to write a new bibliographic environment in another format. Now let us look at different entries in the bibliographic database. We have seen different types of entries like book, online, MISC, article, etc. This is a specimen of an entry in bibliographic database. The first word prefixed with at, it determines the entry type. It is followed by the reference information for that entry enclosed in the curly braces. So here start the details of publication or entry in the database. The very first entry is the key for the whole reference by which it is referred. Here in this example, we can see NUT 1997 is the key. So in the .tex file, we refer this particular word, this particular key to cite this entry. The actual reference information is then entered in various fields separated from one another by comma. So we can see the information title is given as a key map. Title is equal to the art of computer programming. After that, next field author. These two fields are separated by comma. Each field consists of a file name and an equal sign with optional spaces on either side and the text field. The field name shows here are title, author, publisher, address, edition year, etc. Here the text must be enclosed within double quotes or in curly braces. This is only an example for a book type entry in the big file. For each entry type, certain fields are required. There are mandatory fields for different types of entries. Others are optional, and the rest are ignored. So this is a table. Here we can see for an article entry, the required fields are author, title, journal, and year. And optional fields are volume, number, pages, month, note. And if your entry is a proceedings type, the required fields are title and year. And you can have optional fields such as editor, volume, series, address, etc. The proceedings is used for conference for entering conference proceedings. Likewise, you have book, booklet, conference, in book, then manual, unpublished, etc. Please note that if a required field is omitted, an error message will appear during the BibTeX run. Optional field will have their information included in the bibliography if they are present, but they need not be there. the name of entry type like book, article, etc., as well as the field names, these author, publisher, address, edition year, etc., may be written in capital or lowercase letters or in a combination of both. So, at capital letter book, at small letter book, and at book in mixed case are all acceptable variations. This is the basic of each entry in the bib file. The bibtex file and tex file are the main components involved in this environment. So the compilation needs different approach. Let us see what are the different steps for compiling these documents. First step is run LaTeX file. It generates a list of slash site references in its auxiliary file .ox. We have already seen that a number of other files will be created while compiling a LaTeX file, and aux file is one among that. We already discussed about that in the previous episode. And second step is run bibtex, which reads the auxiliary file, looks up the references in a database, means one or more bib files, and then writes a file, the .bbl file, containing the formatted references according to the format specified in the style file. There are a number of style files. We explained about that. The BST file, nature.bst, etc. Formatted specified in the style file. The style file about which we already discussed. BST files like nature.bst, acm.bst, etc. Warning and error messages are written to the log file. It should be noted that the bibtex never reads the original LaTeX source file. So that is about the second step. Coming to the third step, we have to run the LaTeX file again. What happens then? It runs it now. It reads the .bbl reference file. The .bbl file is created while running the bibtex file. And in the third step also, we won't get the references displayed typesetted in the PDF file or in the output file. We have to run the LaTeX file in the third time for resolving the references. So it is clear that after running the bibtex to make up .bbl file, it is necessary to process LaTeX at least twice to establish both the bibliography and the in-text referenced files. The bibliography will be printed where the slash bibliography command is issued. So these are the different steps for compiling the file. Now let us see a live example. This is a text file. At the bottom portion of the document, you can see the slash bibliography environment. Within that, as an argument, we have given the database file, and this is the folder where we kept the details, the source. Now I am compiling the text file using the LaTeX option of the IDE text maker. Once I click on that, you can see the compilation messages coming at the message box. This is the project folder. Again, we can see more. Aux file is one accessory file. This is the structure. This is the database. Here, these are the different entries. You can see article, online, miscellaneous options. And we can compile this bib file using the bibtex format of the IDE. This will also give compilation message. So this is how we compile the bib file. See, if you refresh the project folder, you can see that more files are created. And if you want to see the output, you click on the view PDF file, view PDF option. This is how we compile the file. And as we discussed just before, you repeat the step in different form. You have to compile the LaTeX file many times and database file once. By that, we will get the proper output. The output means at the content part, you will get the citation numbered 1, 2, 3, etc. At the bottom part of the page, you will get the references listed. Now, let us closely look at the source component. Here, you can see the site key. Within the site command, you can see the key, and in the bib file, the same key is listed as an option. So if you do a control F or a search, you will get the corresponding entry with respect to that key. After performing all the specified steps of compilation, the site key is replaced with the proper citation, and the cited publications or entries are listed at the bottom part of the document. Now, another thing, see, we have seen different series of actions to be executed for proper compilation. You have to run the LaTeX file, then bib file, then LaTeX file, etc. In the TeXmaker, you have simple option for that. That is, in the configuration part, we can set the configuration in the quick build format, which means we are configuring the system using one click. The all the specified sequence of operation is to be executed. So for that, we have quick build option. In quick build, we can do different configurations. So this is one example for that. After compilation, see the PDF file. Here, the place where we use the cite command is replaced with the numbers, citation numbers, and at the bottom bar, you can see the references listed in proper order. After compiling all the required files, let us see the auxiliary file again. It is updated with more citation number and all. Okay, so that is about bibliography and bibliographic database. So dear friends, by that we are concluding today's class. Okay, thank you all. Bye.